Bedtime Stories with the Story Club for Kids. Hello, children. It's time to wind up for the day and settle down for the night. I hope all of you have brushed your teeth and are ready for bed. Now, let's begin our first bedtime story for tonight. This is the story of The Wizard of Oz by Frank Baum. Once upon a time, there was a little girl named Dorothy who lived on a farm with her Aunt Em and Uncle Henry. Dorothy had a small dog named Toto, and they were the best of friends. One day, a big, strong wind called a tornado came and lifted their house high up into the sky. When the house landed after the storm subsided, Dorothy and Toto found themselves in the magical land of Oz. Dorothy wanted to go home, so she started walking along a yellow brick road that she could see. And along the way, she saw a road sign that pointed towards the Wizard of Oz. She wondered who this Wizard of Oz was and decided to walk along this yellow brick road to find him so that he could help her get back home. Along the way, she met 3 special friends. First, she met the Scarecrow. The Scarecrow was completely made of straw and stood in a field. He wished he had a brain, he told her, so that he could think better. Dorothy told him that she was on her way to meet the Wizard of Oz and ask him to help her reach home. Dorothy invited him to come along and asked the Wizard of Oz to give the Scarecrow a brain. The Scarecrow agreed and they continued their journey along the yellow brick road. Soon, they met the Tin Man. The Tin Man was made of shiny metal and stood frozen in the forest because he had rusted, and so he could not move his hands and legs around. Dorothy and the Scarecrow helped oil all his joints so he could start moving again. The Tin Man was all metal, and he told Dorothy, "I wish I had a heart so that I could feel and love." Dorothy told him, "Why don't you join us? The Scarecrow and I are on our way to meet the Wizard of Oz and ask him to help us. You could ask him to give you a heart too." The Tin Man agreed and all of them went along. Further down the road, they soon met the cowardly lion. The lion looked very fierce, but he was actually quite scared of everything. He wished he had courage so he could be brave. Dorothy heard his request and she told him, "Why don't you join us too? All of us are on our way to ask the Wizard of Oz for something or the other. I'm sure he could give you some courage." The lion agreed, and the 4 friends walked together on the yellow brick road until they reached the Emerald City, where the Wizard of Oz lived. The city was beautiful and sparkling with green gems. They finally met the Wizard of Oz and saw that he was actually a big, huge ball of glass with a face on it. They could not see a body, and they thought he seems to be a really powerful wizard. He seems to be a very powerful wizard. Look at that big head of his inside the huge glass ball. The wizard sensed their presence and asked, "Who visits me at this hour of day?" Dorothy, on behalf of her friends, told the wizard, "O mighty Wizard of Oz, we have heard that you have many powers, and we have all come to ask you for your help." They told the wizard what each of them wanted. And the wizard said, "Before I can grant you what you wish for, you must bring me the Wicked Witch's broomstick first." Dorothy and her friends were surprised. The Wicked Witch? The Wicked Witch was known to trouble everyone in the land of Oz. And so, Dorothy and her friends went on a brave journey to find the Wicked Witch's castle. The Wicked Witch was very mean and tried to stop them with her flying monkeys and other tricks. But with courage and working together as a team, Dorothy and her friends made it to the castle. Inside the castle, while all four friends were scared on how to take the Wicked Witch's broomstick, Dorothy accidentally spilt a bucket of water which splashed on the Wicked Witch. And to everyone's surprise, the Wicked Witch just melted away. Dorothy quickly took the broomstick and they hurried back to the wizard. But when they reached the wizard's castle, they realized that the wizard was just a regular man who really couldn't do any magic. He would just sit behind a glass lens and pretend to be a mighty wizard. He told the Scarecrow, the Tin Man, and the Lion that they already had brains, a heart, and courage. They just needed to believe in themselves, and they just needed to realize that they already had these qualities inside them. The Scarecrow realized he was already smart because he was starting to think. The Tin Man found he was already kind and loving because he was caring for his friends. And the Lion discovered he was already brave because he had found the courage to go and get the broomstick from the Wicked Witch and come back to the Wizard of Oz's castle. For Dorothy, the wizard could not help her get home. But he did tell her that there was one more witch who lived in the land of Oz, a kind witch named Glinda. She told Dorothy that she had the power to go home all along. She was presented with a pair of red, shiny slippers with little wings on their back. All she had to do was click her heels together 3 times and say, "There is no place like home." So Dorothy quickly gave her friends a goodbye hug, put on the red shiny slippers with the wings, closed her eyes, and with a little bit of excitement inside of her, she said, "There's no place like home. There's no place like home. There's no place like home." And in a blink, she was back on the farm with Aunt Em, Uncle Henry, and Toto. Dorothy was very happy to be back home, and she never forgot her friends in the land of Oz and the wonderful adventure she had. And they all lived happily ever after. The end. And that's all for tonight. Good night, sleep tight, and don't let the bed bugs bite. Bye bye, children.